Today we are going to talk about perception. I'm looking forward to the conversation. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bridget Goldstein. I am a Crystal Reiki Master and a spiritual director, and I am here to serve you in this Arid Spirit space. You also may want to know about our Arid Spirit Explorers group. It's a group within Arid Spirit where we have deeper conversations about spiritual topics. So go ahead if you'd like and just check us out over there. Today's session was inspired by a card that I pulled for this group yesterday. And the card is from The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. And it is Five of Earth. Let's see if I can get that. I'm going to look at that beautiful card. And just the wonderful, wonderful way that she has intertwined herself into that nature. And I'm going to read to you from the book because this is amazing and it is what we're going to talk about today. So Five of Earth, according to the author of this book, is alternate forms of abundance, the illusion of lack, overlooked treasures. All is not as it seems. So this is a time to look again. A change in perception can bring into focus the results I sought, just in a different form than expected. I am called to move away from poverty consciousness and open my eyes to treasures before me that are suddenly illuminated. The illusion of wealth gives way to true abundance. There is no need to fear that the rug will be pulled out from under me. What we draw our attention to grows. And I'll say that again. What we draw our attention to grows. So I count my blessings and realize I have far more than I thought. I have come far in my quest for building up what I need, and even more opportunities for experiencing abundance awaits. For so long, I wanted to begin this spiritual journey of serving people. And I kept on saying, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, and not realizing that when you say these things, the universe says, okay, she doesn't have time, so we're going to take the time from her. She doesn't have money, so we're going to take that money from her. So what you focus on grows. So instead of growing more time, instead of growing my bank account, the universe was doing exactly what I told it to do. Don't do these things. So that is perception. And it is very fascinating to me, and I wanted to bring this to you and to share it with you. The definition of perception, according to our lovely Wikipedia, is the organization, identification, and interpretation of sensory information. Perception is not only the passive receipt of these signatures, but also shaped by what we have learned, what we remember, and more important than the other two, but our expectations. So if we expect to see going to a bird sanctuary, if we go to a bird sanctuary, we are expecting to see what? Birds, right? So going into the sanctuary and seeing some creature that was something that you had never seen before, you would expect that it would be some kind of bird that you're not familiar with. That is because your expectations going into that bird sanctuary is that you are going to see a bird. But what if it was a dog? Messes with your head, doesn't it? So we're going to talk about what roles that we step into in our life and our day-to-day activities that change our perception on a dime. The first we are going to talk about is the role of student versus teacher. When you are a student, you don't know what you're doing. Say I was a student of learning how to do videos. I wouldn't know how to do this video here. If I had the perception that I was in the role of the teacher surrounding the video class, I would be in trouble, wouldn't I? Because that is not the perception that I would be at if I was a student of videography. Similarly, if I was a teacher, I would expect and I would remember the things that I have learned in the research on doing this class, that yes, I can run this video. I can show people how to run this video. I would not expect technical difficulties, but they happen, right? So I would have to change my perception on a dime from that teacher to the student. That's not always easy to do, but we need to be aware of those roles. And it's not that we can't learn how to do something or we can't solve problems. It's just that we need to switch our roles. We need to switch our perception in what is in front of us. The second set we're going to talk about is victim versus survivor. So if you are a victim, and I just want to take a moment here to say that there are times in our lives that we are all victims. I just want to say that if you are going through a victim period right now or have been through a victim period, that was a very valid thing to go through. And yes, so I just want to make you aware of that. So if you stay in that victim perception, what you're going to see and the words that are going to come out of your mouth are victim. Life sucks. My car always breaks down. Now remember what we said in the first part of the video. If you say, my car always breaks down, the universe is going to conspire to make that happen. I want that to settle in. Now think about what you may have been saying, what thoughts may be in your mind that are causing the manifestation of things that do not serve you. And if you'd like, just drop them down in the comments and let me know. So the survivor perception and the survivor life role is quite different. It's a role that you get to as you come out of the survivor role or the victim role. And what this says is, yeah, life gave me lemons and I caught everyone, and here's some lemonade. So that the broke down car caught that lemon, threw it in the bucket. The technical difficulties at work caught that lemon, threw it in the bucket. That is the difference between the survivor and the victim mentality. Now, again, you want to make sure that you are using the perception that is most appropriate for the situation that you are in. If you are in a car crash or if you fall on a hiking trail, you want to, or if you get bit by a bear, mauled by a bear, you want to make sure that you are in the correct role. If you are in the role of survivor and you have blood coming out your leg and you can't walk, that may not be the appropriate role for you to be in. So you may need to change your perception to that victim role and get some help. So that is the perception and the roles of a victim and survivor. The last one we're going to look at is parent and child. And this is a very, very interesting dynamic. The parent is expected to provide love, nurturance, sustenance, education, and the child is expected to be in the receiving mode of that. So what happens when you are in the parent, also known as the adult role? What happens when you go home for the holidays? Do you slide back into that child role? Do you slide back into that victim sibling role? Or do you stay in the role of adult that you have come through and are now standing in your life? Now, sometimes it's nice to be the child and get that hug from your mom or your dad or your grandma, and that is great. What is not so great is if you fall back into the child role and all of these triggers start coming, the triggers from childhood, the triggers that people said you were no good, you know, you never amount to anything. And all of these triggers start coming up. And it's because you're in that perception of a child. So what can you do about it? Take these glasses off and put your adult glasses on. And then say, yeah, I see that trigger, but I'm not going to engage with that trigger. That is your change in perception, and that will allow you to come back into your power. I'm going to put my glasses back on because I can only see a fuzzy thing in front of me. Oh, it's a camera. It's you. I did find a quiz that you can take to find out what role you are currently in life. The link is in the, let's see, in the event as well as in the comment, and I'll put it in the video description as well. I took that quiz and I am the protagonist. And I read that little description of protagonist, and I'm like, yeah, I can own that. So today, in this moment, I am in the role of protagonist. So I'd like you to go ahead and take that quiz and let me know in the comments what role you're playing in life today.